Welcome to my third story of you. Today it's Friday, it's 5 o'clock, and as we advertised, this is the time for another live video that we have prepared with the Harmony trainers for you to just improve your English and spend some time with us. So if you are watching me, if you are with me, I would be very happy if I know who you are. And you can just write down your name and the country you are watching me from. And if you have any question that you would like me to answer during this third video, as it's a kind of custom or habit that you can be interactive and you can give me questions while I'm talking, I would be very happy that I will be responding to your questions that you would like to get answered in the story today. So you can see the title of the story today is called The Day. Hello, Martin. Hello. So the story today is called The Day I Joined She. And if you have watched the two previous videos, the first one was the story of you, and the second one was how you coached She. So this is the third one in which we are introduced to another person whose name is I. So, who is I? Have you voted in our poll? You know that before every video you can vote, and if you choose the right answer and you just leave a comment or a message during the live video, like Martin has just. Oh, hello, Peter. Great to see another person watching. So, and if you leave the comment like this, you can be the lucky winner of an individual lesson you can get from one of our trainers. So what I have prepared, hello Jana, D is watching. That's wonderful. So it's really great to see people being with me today. I am trying to read, and yeah, D is from France. So what I have just realized that while these videos are being prepared for you, dear viewers, there is a nice bridge and channel between France and Slovakia. Last time there was someone watching us from Poland. So we are really working on creating a network that you is a member of. And if you remember at the beginning of the story, we are drawn to the person named you, and the whole story began in the future in 2029. And in that year, you was already a member of a network of trainers and schools all around the world, and he was a trainer of the 9 guiding principles of learn and lead. So can you remember the answers to the question like, what does you look like, what is you like, and what does you like? So there are 3 tricky questions which just make you think of the differences with like in the questions, and I will leave you with the answers, because if you don't know, you can go back to the previous video and find out the answers. So we continued, and the second story was about you, how he met She. So what I prepared for you today, that we've got one person that is named you, we've got another person in this story that is named She, and if you remember, the session, the coaching session was about She and her struggle with something she was facing in her professional life. You helped her, and he helped her with following the Grow coaching model, in which he was able to identify with She the critical opportunities or options which she didn't see on her own. So, in the story that we saw last week, there was somebody mentioned. And when you are watching me, can you guess who I can be in our story today? Is it me, as usually? the person I is the person that is speaking. So it's really tricky. Is it me as I, Jana, or is it somebody whose name can be I? So what do you think? Do you think that I is me or I is a person whose name is I? Any ideas? Any guesses? It was very nice to see the votes before the video because there are these two options, whether the I is me or I is a manager in Croatia. And when I see the votes, they were 1-1. So one person voted for I being me and another one voted for I as a Croatian manager. And yes, it's not me. It's the manager. The manager that was there with she when she was struggling at the training led by you. And it was the manager that is going to be the main character in our story today. So the day I joined she. Yeah, it's a person, Dee. Fantastic, you're right. It's a person, and it's he. If you remember, and if you watched me right, and you followed me in the last video, you really could hear that that was he, the manager, that invited you to come over to his school because he was unable to create a good team in the school so that they would be able to face the difficulties they were in. So what I did, again, I asked my students, oh, hello, Eric, that's fantastic to see you. So we've got another person representing France and it's wonderful. So Eric, you are coming just on time because you are one of the students that I'm sharing the story of you with, and you really helped me with the questions along with other students like Peter and Yanka again this week that helped me create a story with the questions. So I would like to ask my support, who you are not going to see, but she's sitting next to me and helping me communicate this story to you today, supported by visuals and the questions that you put together in my lessons so that I can now share the answers with all of you. So who is I? You already know, but you don't know how old is I. What is his professional background? Is he married? Is he single? What does he like? What does he look like? What is he like? So, this manager set up the school from scratch. And at the time, he invited you to join him and help him team up with the people and teachers in his school. He was very, very tired and exhausted. He wanted to give up because running the school in Croatia at that time was really very difficult. But there he heard about the night guiding principles and he decided that he would give it a try and he would try to involve his teachers to see how they like the idea, and if this can help the school go on, he would be willing to open the door and be part of that. So yes, he set up the school from scratch. At the time when he joined the meeting, he was in his 50s, and he had already two grown-up children, a boy and a girl, a son and a daughter. So that's the first question. Who is I? I is a Croatian manager. His name is Jure, and he is very determined now to go on with the team and face the difficulties in his school. So the next question you created for me today: when was this story? The day I joined she. So if you remember, The story with you began in 2029, but as he was sitting in his terrace, happy, relieved, and relaxed, he was in silence, and his mind took him back, and he started to remember the moments he'd been through. So that was the moment when he coached She, which he remembered, and the moment when I joined She was on the exact day when you coached She. So it was the 10th of September, he remembered clearly, 2021. So it was September, the beginning of the school year, 2021. It was at the school, at the same school where the training on 9 guiding principles of learn and lead took place. So, can you guess what's I's job? It's awkward, it's strange to see I's with apostrophe and then say job after that, because we normally don't see that. This wouldn't be a good English if it was just the pronoun, but because I is the name of the person, it's perfectly correct. All right. Hello, what is the job of I? Fantastic, Eric. So you see that I've got it there. What is I's job, or what is the job of I? That's correct. That's perfect. So his job, he's a manager. His professional background is he studied economics. He loved languages, but he was not a language teacher. But he learned a lot about English language teaching and about foreign language teaching because he was a very good manager, and he was ready to develop the environment in his school so that the school would be coping with the situations they were facing. That was another question, like, why did I join She? What do you think? Why did I join She? It's a very important question. I joined She because he knew that She was one of the most loyal teachers in his school, and he was ready to be there with him, to be there by his side, to find the way out of the difficulty they all were in. So he trusted her, and he joined her because he saw at that training how much she was ready and determined, after being coached by you, to go on and be the person that will be developing the new ways of teaching and approaching students in the classroom, because she was given freedom to do so. So the next question for today is, in what way did I join She? What do you think? In what way did I join She? What was very important, and you knew about that because he and his school had been through that phase, he knew that a real change in any school can happen only if both teachers and managers grow and develop. In the ideal situation, side by side, together. So what was special about the training of 9 guiding principles of learn and lead, that this training was exactly for the two teams being usually separate in the school. So this training was open for teachers and managers, and I joined She in her approach towards the student. So her classroom was led by the students because she approached the students according to the needs of the students. Her approach was learner-centered approach. She studied a lot about psychology, neurolinguistics, and all these recent studies that helped her understand what was going on in the mind of the student once he or she was learning a foreign language. So what I followed or joined the She in was exactly the same approach, that this time it was not learner-centered, it was teacher-centered managerial approach. So, people-centered approach in general, we can say. What kind of skills did I need to develop? What do you think? What kind of skills did I need to develop? I needed to develop the skill of self-reflection, of social awareness, the skills of relationship management, the skills of cooperation. Of course, he was also ready to develop and improve his skill of delegation. So to delegate the task, responsibility, you can succeed only when you trust the person and make sure that you support the person in case that person needs your help and support. So of course, he needed to develop his coaching skills, his leadership skills, and he was ready to work on himself to become a better and more perhaps wanted manager in his school. So what kind of skills did she need to develop? What do you think? What kind of skills did she need to develop? Imagine a teacher that was there in the classroom following the principles given by the school. And yes, she needed to develop very similar skills of self-reflection, the skills of self-management, the skills of emotional and social kind of intelligence. How was she going to approach students? Of course, she needed to develop her communication skills. She needed to develop the skill of coaching and mentoring the students once they were struggling in the classroom while learning a language. So those were the skills they needed to work on. And what was perhaps the biggest and the um, the skill that they all needed to work on was to be working on the cooperation and creating a real team, achieving goals that the team set up. And because they were ready to work together, they were working on setting up the teams for the school together, and they were supporting and helping each other in achieving them. So those were the skills they needed to develop. And if you have any more questions, it would be great to see them here. And yes, what is the job? I can. Oh, what is the job of I? I've already answered that question. All right. So to summarize today's story, again, I will use this support. Like we had the you in the story, or you, the person whose name is you, but he was not much important. He was not very important in this story today. Then we had she. The Croatian teacher that showed the way for her school manager to go on and develop. And then we have I, the person, the manager in the school, that decided to follow she in her way of developing herself, following her heart that was there with her for the whole life. So the three stories, the story of you, how she was coached by you or how you coached she, and the day I joined she. The three stories have been created for you to look at the 9 guiding principles and the way how they can really help individuals or organizations work together and develop together for the better and more valuable life of the people and the organization itself. I was proposing that this story was going to be about the second learn and lead principle, that is about being proactive, about proactiveness. And if you think about the role of the manager, this is exactly what I was following. So he took his initiative in his hands, and he was able to come up with the next meetings and training courses and individual sessions with his team, in which he was becoming a very empathic listener. But I can see there is a question again. When will we have the next of this story? Okay, the continuation of this story. I would really be happy if you suggest the continuation of the story. Eric, if it's your idea, perhaps you can guide me and you can show me the way in which I should move forward, because I would be happy to choose to follow the interest in you, your interest, and I would be happy to perhaps go on to the third principle. And the third learn and lead principle is the one that begins with the letter A, and I think it's a very good principle, and thank you very much, Eric, because this principle just is perfect for the time of today's story where we can finish. And it invites us to the third learn and lead principle, that is, allow others to be part of your journey and be a team player. So imagine, once you let yourself be visible when you feel the time is right, you are courageous, then you enable yourself to take the action as soon as you can. You are proactive, and you can imagine that your action will awake the interest of other like-minded people in your surrounding. So in that case, please be ready to work on you being a team player. A team is always bigger and stronger than any strongest individual standing alone. Because that's what I knew. You can imagine how successful he was when he was building his team for the better and a nicer world of foreign language teachers in his town or little town near Split in Croatia. So the story, the day I joined She, is getting to its end. And if you have any more questions, you've got the last chance to write it here. So it's very nice to see people watching me now. I can see that there are about 10 or 9 people watching, and I can see 1, 2, 3, 4 people responding, and it's really fantastic. I appreciate your time in this beautiful weather, that you are sitting in front of your either desktop or a laptop or your mobile, your smartphone, and watching this live video. You really help me and my school grow and go towards a better and more valuable future. The story of Learn and Lead is the story of my life, and I would be very happy to share a bit more with you next week. So have a wonderful rest of today. Enjoy the weekend with your family, and I would be really happy to be with you next week at this time again. Have a nice day. Bye bye.